Fallout 4 is a certified hood classic. Don't worry, I'm a middle-class white guy, so I'm qualified to define what counts as a hood classic. Do you know what's not a hood classic? A Jewish man's penis. If you want to know why, I'll tell you right after this message from today's sponsor. PUBG Mobile is one of the most popular free-to-play mobile battle royale games in the world, with 50 million active players and more than 1 billion downloads in total. Enjoy the authentic battle royale experience in a fast pace while playing alone, in a duo, or with your squad. To keep yourself looking nice and snazzy in the game, there's top IP collaborations like Spider-Man No Way Home, Jujutsu Kaisen, Baby Shark, Evangelion, and Amazon series The Boys, as well as brands like Lamborghini, Tesla, and Koenigsegg. Not to mention celebrities like Blackpink. Being such a popular game, you may have played it before, but there's actually a new game mode right now called Ancient Secret Arise, which is available on Angreal, Miramar, and Living Maps between July 11th until September 12th, 2022. Jump into the battleground and explore the mysteries of the Ancient Secret. In this new game mode, a path highlighted by a golden colour will be visible during every match, with the legend of a temple visible at the starting point. Further down the path, multiple portals open up as the temple moves closer. Players can enter the temple via one of these portals. Once in the temple, players will gain access to a massive amount of loot, but only if they're able to beat its guardians. There's new features such as the Sandstorm Zone, where a lot of supplies are available, and you get a mysterious scarab charm that gives you a second chance of getting that chicken dinner. There's also the Emperor Temple, where you better be prepared to defeat the Pharaoh in order to get some more supplies. If you still don't have enough supplies, head on over to the Scorpio crates, where you can defeat the golden scorpions guarding the crates and get their valuable supplies. Hit the link in the description or the pinned comment to download PUBG Mobile. This new game mode is a lot of fun, so you may even see me in there. It was a circumcision joke, because I don't have a hood, so how can it be a classic? Explaining jokes makes them so much funnier. You guys all know I love Fallout 4, but if you haven't seen my other videos, well, I really like Fallout 4. It's got so much to love in it, like big guns, big Russian women, and big kahuna burger. A feature many love about this game is the ability to build settlements. You can recruit settlers and companions and build them a cute little settlement to call home. It's basically like The Sims, but you can play it without identifying as non-binary. I never really got into this part of the game because it requires you to be A, creative, and B, have responsibility. Well, I'm not creative, I just copy Modest Pelicans content, and I definitely don't have responsibility. You know, my girlfriend's always like, yeah, we've been together 6 years, let's have a baby. It'll be cute to start a family. However, that means I'll lose out on free time from my productive hobbies, like listening to hard Slavic underground bass while pouring vodka on my genitals. Anyway, my settlers need a place to stay, so I put on the hard hat and get to building. Firstly though, I executed Trash Can Carla. I also can't be having a dead body in the street of my settlement, so I attempt to move her body, but worry this may look a little predatory now that I've taken her clothes off. I try to fix this by giving her some clothes, but she cannot put them on due to being dead. I'm not putting them on her myself either, as trying to get clothes on a limp body is a lot harder than you'd think. To get the creative juices flowing, I start with a little renovation project. We should probably also do a deep clean of the property, but I'm yet to find a Hispanic mother in their 40s to assign this job to. I start with a couple of chairs in the living room to really bring some comfort. I mean, they're 200 years old, so I'd imagine it's just springs and radiation making them up at this point, so not ideal for your back health, but you can't deny the feng shui that it brings. I then get a nice rug down in an attempt to cover the family's ashes, which are just burnt into the ground. I may also have to hit this with the Febreze later, as the smell of charcoal flesh is still ripe in the air. I pop 2 beds in the bedroom, but I then realise that I've put them so close together they're basically a double bed. A double bed increases the chance of getting one's oats, and if there's one thing in this settlement that I cannot have, it's adult relations that don't involve me. I promise this is a welcoming community and not a dictatorship. Alright, home renovation's finished, and while this is a great project, I actually need a place for my settlers to sleep as, quote, I can't expect them to all sleep in my bed and cuddle with me while I cry myself to sleep. So I do what any self-respecting governor would do, build a block of apartments with piss-poor living conditions, sky-high rent, and high probability of catching fire. Finally, some good fucking food. Finally, a place for my settlers to call home. Also a place for me to put Trash Can Carla's body, where it looks like she just spends an unusual amount of time in bed due to chronic fatigue, rather than being dead and unwelcoming. With my settlers satisfied and my arse now clean because I'm using Carla's old clothes as toilet paper, let's get on with this game's story. The story is a little like Finding Dory, or that kids show Balamori. I've got morning glory, let's go find my son Sean. Sean is in a place called the Institute, but the only way to get there is via teleportation. I don't know why Epstein didn't think of teleportation. If he had that, he would probably be alive right now. Anyway, I have the tech needed to teleport, I just have no idea how to use it. Luckily for me, there's some nerds who go by the name of the Railroad who can help me out. Finding their base of operations is a long and elaborate puzzle, but I just followed a YouTube video to lead me here. I've got to say, if I realised I was going to be walking this much, I would have worn my flats and not these wedge heel loafers. jokes. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not a rugby player with 8 sexual assault charges. I don't wear loafers. The railroad are pretty sus of me, but much like a hidden toilet cam, this guy that looks like an Elvis tribute act leaps to my defense and vouches for me. I'm not sure why he defended me like this. Maybe he thinks I'm cute. I'll hold his peen for him at the urinal later on and guide his stream to try and gauge whether he has feelings for me based on this hunch I have. No time for that yet though, as I need to figure out how to get this teleporter working. Old matey Tinkerer Tom assures me he can figure it out, and who am I to not believe him? The man is wearing a NASA satellite on his head. Although these guys and girls clearly want to stay secretive in the underground base, I can't help but feel like I should encourage them to participate in some outdoor activities. Not only would it help bond co-workers and boost workplace morale, it would also be great for their vitamin D levels. You see, to repay Tinker Tom for figuring out this teleporter stuff, I've got to retrieve something from them from their old hideout, which is highly dangerous. On my way to meet Deacon at the location, I come across a bunch of lads having a laugh with a couple of bevies. Damn, nothing will ever stop the boys from having banter on a Saturday. Not even a nuclear apocalypse. I buy myself a couple of beers and sit in the bathtub while we talk about some bro apocalypse banter, like if we'd ever bang a ghoul. Joke's on them. I already did. Alright, so this old base of operations is pretty dangerous, so we have the choice of going in the front door or sneaky in the back. I didn't bring my water-based lube with me, so it'll have to be the front. There's explosions, lots of gunfire, and we nearly die, but my reward is I find a sweet roll just shitting on the shelf. Jesus Christ. But my reward is I find a sweet roll just sitting on the shelf. It's good to see that even in an apocalypse, there's still passionate bakers making sweet rolls. As it so happens, there's no way in the front, so we have to take the back entrance anyway. It's going to be tight. Wow, what happened to Fallout being a multiple path, free-flowing RPG with quests you could complete however you wanted to? Now I'm being told what to do and where to go. I feel like a woman in the Middle East. Next Todd Howard will tell me I can't drive or vote. We're in here fighting synths, and honestly for computer-engineered robots that have technology far beyond what any of us could comprehend, they're not the best in a gunfight. No one has programmed them to head glitch or jiggle peak corners, they just kind of run at me. GG, that was the easiest tactical nuke of my life. Wait, can I make tactical nuke jokes in a world where a nuke has actually gone off, or is that unethical? Deacon finds one of his old friends down here and offers me his trusty old gun, saying he would have wanted me to have it. I appreciate the kind gesture, but it's a 9mm with a silencer. Don't know if you've noticed, Deacon, but I'm using a 24 karat gold carved revolver that deconstructs human bodies with one bullet. This is kind of like that time when I asked my parents for a Buzz Lightyear toy for Christmas. I woke up on Christmas morning at 6 AM to see a present under the tree with my name on it. It was my adoption papers, with a note to say that they were also getting a divorce. I grab the prototype that the railroad left behind and head back to their hideout. When I get back, I see Desmodona doing a terrible thing, smoking a ciggy. That's so irresponsible. The radiation in the air is surely destroying everyone's lungs over time, but here she is, accelerating that decline by smoking. Good luck trying to get up a flight of stairs without getting wheezy, Chief. Also, Deacon is bald now, so I don't know if he just hooked himself into some chemo for a quick high, or if he was wearing a toupee that whole time. He's still a baddie though. All I want to do is shine that bad boy with shoe polish and gently kiss it goodnight while we fall asleep in each other's arms. So Tinker Tom, despite being high off his head on PCP, managed to get the Corsa chip working, so we're ready for teleportation. Obviously we need a big open space to set up all this equipment, and what better place to do that than the barren wasteland? Rather than picking literally any other place on planet Earth that's free real estate, we decide to beef with some raiders and take their land. One of them is unfortunately rocking a Fat Man, which is a mini nuke launcher, so this goes pretty badly.
That's a lot of damage!
On the bright side though, I have a mod on that replaces the mini nuke sound with the Flexitape guy shouting "that's a lot of damage," so I get a little chuckle every time I die to one. This time round, I take out the dude rocking the Fat Man first, take his Fat Man, and get some Fat Man revenge of the Sith.
That's a lot of damage!
Now I have full creative control over this property, it's time for more renovations. As you can imagine, with no Pinterest in the wasteland, inspiration is hard to come by. So I simply construct the teleporter we needed, as well as a few other things like this massive radar. Unfortunately, this needs a whole lot of power, so I also have to build these industrial generators that are spitting out dangerous fumes which are terrible for the environment. Where are my solar panels and wind turbines, Bethesda? I care about the planet. Everything I had done to this point had led me here. To finally travel to the Institute and save my son Sean. It's going to be tight, emotional, heartbreaking, nerve-wracking, photosynthesizing, ballsack tightening. Here we go.
Wait to save them. Nobody else can.
I arrive, and as expected there's some side effects to having your entire body disintegrate in one area and reform in another. I'm tired, my muscles ache, I've got a migraine, and for some reason, I'm rock hard. There's a guy talking to me over the telecom who wants to meet now I'm here, so I put on my finest outfit, along with a hat to cover my horrendous bald spot. I'm making my way through this place, and it smells like lemon pledge, which is a lovely change from that nuclear aftermath and human beings who haven't showered in years. That's when I see him. My son. My boy. The reason I'm here. I tell him I'm his dad, but he doesn't recognise me. I mean, of course he doesn't. The last time I saw him, he was 6 months old, so it's understandable, but for some reason my character gets really intense and insists on telling him I'm his dad like it's suddenly going to change anything. A man called Father then walks into the room, and I fully appreciate anyone who runs a business and goes strictly by the name Father. Sure, you might have a bad time trying to hire anyone with daddy issues, but will anyone who didn't have a father figure growing up be the ideal employee anyway? Father tells me he was the OG of the Institute, and it's actually not as bad of a place as the Wastelanders make it out to be. The Simps were his creation, but that's when he drops the second bombshell on me I've ever felt during my life. He is Sean. He is my son. That kid is actually a synth. Keeping a synth of your younger self seems pretty narcissistic in my opinion, but who am I to judge my own son? He's really been out here for 60 years. My timeline was wrong. It's pretty traumatizing to be the first human to ever experience your own son being older than you, but I think it's safe to say I deal with this the best way anyone possibly could. A massive thank you as always to those of you who have clicked the join button and become a member of the channel. It really does mean a lot. If you want to see more Fallout 4 from me, be sure to check the video at the end screen. Thank you all for watching, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. A big thank you to my motherload Voiy Bois and above, Björn van den Hatter, ZYFin, TheGamerTeg. Thank you guys for your support.